Donald Trump's tough trade tariffs really did make a lot of countries around the world line up. Like, hey, let's negotiate with the big guy. We'll buy more planes from you, or we'll import more goods from you. Just don't be too harsh on us. And I get where those countries are coming from because a lot of them just aren't in a position to fight or go toe-to-toe with the United States. No one really is. But there are some countries that even if they negotiate, they still negotiate. But they didn't just put up their guard, they got ready to fight back too. There are some real rebels out there. So in this episode, I'm going to tell you who those rebellious countries are and how exactly they stood their ground. And most importantly, this episode will break down who ended up the messiest because of this policy and just how bad things got. We'll also talk about what the US leaders really thought about this policy. If you want to support this episode, you can do so with this QR code. Or you can support the Sci Money Monster channel easily. Just hit the subscribe button for me. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. No need to click it again. But if you haven't yet, just one click is all it takes to show your support. Let me start with this picture. When it comes to legendary trade wars, only Donald Trump has ever truly managed to pull it off. He's the one who will forever be remembered in the history books as the person who managed to wipe $2 trillion off the value of the S&P 500 in just 15 minutes. And that's not even counting the massive value the S&P has lost since Donald Trump secured his victory in the presidential election earlier this year. Right now, that number has already reached $4 trillion and counting. The company that's lost the most in stock value worldwide, as you can see from this chart, is Apple, which has lost $249.2 billion. Next are the so-called Magnificent Seven, who were super popular just last year, but now their popularity has faded. Altogether, they've lost several $100 billion. Honestly, is it bad that tech stocks have lost so much value? I think it's bad, but it's still not the worst part. Because people can still survive without using technology, right? But one of the stocks on this chart that's also lost a huge amount of value, and I think it's really shocking, is Walmart. Walmart is in the top 10 stocks with the biggest losses, with its value dropping by $37.4 billion. The reason I say it's shocking is because Walmart is basically the lifeline for the middle class, or really for most people in the United States. But when tariffs go up, both from China and Vietnam, with so many countries like Vietnam, all those cheap imported goods that used to fill Walmart's shelves just can't stay cheap anymore. This time, the announcement of trade tariffs against 185 countries around the world is really ruthless. Who's being ruthless? It doesn't matter if you're an ally or not. Even places like Heard Island, which only has birds and penguins, no plants, no animals, no products at all, still got hit with tariffs. So this round of trade tariffs has pushed the global average tariff rate up to 34%. This is the highest in the history of the United States. The main purpose of America's trade tariffs is nothing other than to destroy the industrial systems of other countries around the world and pull everything back into the United States. You can see this from the way Donald Trump has treated everyone equally. He's thrown this at the whole world. Like I said, he doesn't care at all whether you're a friend, a close friend, or an ally. No matter how close you are, if you're in an industry that the United States has decided not to keep outside its borders, you'll get hit just the same. Take a look at this chart that Donald Trump presented. Among the top countries facing trade tariffs, the EU is still right up there at the top. Why is that? Because the EU is a leader in car manufacturing. Same goes for Japan. Taiwan gets hit too. And that's not a coincidence. It's because Taiwan has semiconductors. And any country involved in the electronics manufacturing industry, Thailand's in there, Vietnam's in there, they all get hit. And if you ask what the attitude of the US leadership is about slapping these trade tariffs on the whole world, honestly, I feel like at least they're doing it for their own country. But let's take a look at their attitude. Right now, if anyone is a fan or an FC of the tough guy style of Big Daddy Donald Trump, I'd like to introduce you to another member of the crew, Mr. Howard Lutnick, the U.S. Secretary of Commerce. And if you think the toughness of this administration makes Donald Trump the center, well, Lutnick is right there with him. He's basically the main rapper because what Lutnick says in the media is always blunt and straight to the point. For example, earlier he said that everyone doing business in the US would have to pay a membership fee. You can check out that clip. The US is going to charge a membership fee. Or more recently, he said that imposing tariffs and trade barriers on the whole world like this will bring about a second Renaissance era for American industry. Let's listen what he had to say.
America's manufacturing rebirth for real workers and top thinkers. This iconic recovery and these jobs will create a market comeback. High school graduates will enjoy steady work, good pay, and strong benefits. The world will improve with better health care, Medicare, and privacy. Businesses will thrive and favorites will return, especially in semiconductors. The cloud, the best jobs, and the highest paying jobs are coming.
But it's some kind of Renaissance era, though I'm not really sure what kind. Because among all the stock markets around the world, the one that's dropped the most is the United States. That's because of all the trade tariffs the US is throwing at everyone globally. So who's going to end up paying for these extra tariffs? If you look at it plainly, it's probably going to be American consumers, right? Right now, parents are sitting there crying because the price of their kids' toys is definitely going to go up, at least 50%. And ATN reported Scott Besson's, if tariffs go up this much, then the prices of goods in our country, the United States, will have to go up too, right? But Scott said they don't have to go up. They just might go up. That's all.
He's definitely quite a unique character.
Because the increased tariffs don't necessarily have to be paid by our consumers. It could be the producers, the ones who want to sell to us, who end up paying. But let's take a look at the US CDP forecast. Let's talk about America for a bit. With these new trade tariffs, the US GDP forecast at the beginning of February was still expected to grow by 3.7%. But now the new forecast has dropped by 6%, putting it at negative 3.7%. A GDP drop of 6% is massive for a country of that size. For example, in Thailand, if we get hit by trade tariffs, it's 37%. That means we're being hit really hard. Right now, if you have a job, hold on to it tight because everyone is getting hit across the board, whether it's Thai exports, which are affected, or the number of tourists, which was expected to be around 38 million, but now about 1 million will be lost. That's income that's going to disappear, right? So from this point, Thailand's GDP is also affected. According to K-Asset, they say Thailand's GDP will drop by 1%. Thailand's GDP base was low to begin with. The original forecast for growth was 2.4%. If we lose 1%, that's almost half, right? So growth would only be 1.4%. But at least it's not negative like in the US. I'm comparing this to show how severe it is. Losing 6% of GDP is a huge deal. Then, US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessons announced, concerned that the trade protectionist tariffs, the numbers we've given everyone, don't push back, don't resist, don't be stubborn, because if you don't resist, those numbers are already the highest we're willing to set. But if anyone is stubborn or tries to push back, these numbers will just keep going up. They'll keep increasing until you give in. But, in this world, there are always some rebels. There will always be people who think they're strong enough, that they're good enough not to have to listen to the United States that much. But that's not Thailand. And as for one of those countries, if I say the name, no one will be surprised, it's China. China definitely won't give in. So China is going to be the center of the group, leading the resistance and playing the rebel against the United States. But if I tell you the names of the other members, it might be a bit surprising, because the main members joining China are Japan and South Korea. These three countries will work together to oppose the US's trade tariffs and protectionist measures. Why would Japan and South Korea team up with China to form this new boy band? It's because Japan and South Korea are the ones hit hardest by these new trade tariffs. Japan is a powerhouse in the automotive manufacturing industry, while South Korea is a leader in semiconductors, at least when it comes to memory semiconductors. So China, Japan, and South Korea are working together economically to strengthen themselves enough to stand up to the United States. As a result, right now, China, Korea, Japan are joining forces to impose their own trade tariffs against the United States. And they've come out and they said, like, hey, why is America doing this? For example, Prime Minister Ishiba said that Japan is actually the country that invests the most in the United States in the world. And let me tell you, Japan is the country that has always paid high wages to American workers. And it's not just talk, there are actual numbers to back this up. Just look at this chart. Japan is the only country with such a high level of foreign direct investment in the US. $783 billion. Just one country, almost $800 billion. That's a huge amount, the highest in the world. Now, let's look at who else is among the top investors in the United States. In second place is Canada. Canada, which the US has also caused a lot of pain for. Next are Germany and the UK. Right now, Germany's economy is in really bad shape because they have to go along with whatever sanctions the US imposes. As for South Korea, which says it won't give in to America, because South Korea has been struggling with income issues and chip exports ever since President Joe Biden's administration. And when they asked South Korea to join in sanctioning China, it's because South Korea dominates the global market share for memory chips, holding 2/3 of the world's market. The value of these memory chips comes from two major South Korean companies, Samsung with $55 billion and SK Hynix with $33 billion. This is South Korea's main source of income. But do you see anything in the graphs? Ever since President Joe Biden's administration, South Korea's main revenue from chips has been sliding down like a slide. Up until now, it's in the negative. Most recently, during Trump's time, after Trump won the election, South Korea's revenue from selling memory chips dropped by 31.8%. So what's going on here? Why should I have to give up my income just to give in to the United States? Right? And what's strange about all this is that right now, the United States is imposing trade barriers and tariffs, and their number one target is China, right? But if you look at stock markets around the world, they're all taking a big hit. Thailand's market dropped hard, Vietnam's too. Some people are even joking, saying, love the teacher. Even the US market itself dropped sharply, but the one country whose market didn't drop as much is China. The Chinese stock market only dropped a little bit. Do you know why? Because this is already the second trade war and they've learned from the pain. They're not going to let themselves get hurt the same way again. That's China for you. They've been preparing for a long time. They've been reducing their reliance on exports to the United States since 2018, which was after the first round of the trade war. Back then, China's export revenue from the US made up 35% of China's GDP. But by 2023, that revenue exports to America have dropped, now making up only 2.9% of China's GDP. So while it looks like the numbers have gone down for China, actually, let me tell you, this decrease was very well planned. China has strategically spread its manufacturing base, with Vietnam being the top destination, right? And then Thailand comes next, right? That means China is generating export revenue through Vietnam and Thailand as made in Vietnam and in Thailand, then shipped to America. But China still gets the money anyway. So when the US raises tariffs and imposes trade barriers, China doesn't get hit as hard. Instead, the impact is spread to countries like ours and Vietnam, our neighboring countries. That's why China dares to stand up to the United States, because they don't rely on the US that much, thanks to their well thought out planning. That's why China even dares to dump large amounts of US government bonds, and they've been doing it continuously. And now China is also taking strong measures. They've outright banned Chinese companies from investing in the United States. The Chinese government has officially blocked and refused to approve any Chinese companies wanting to invest in the US. But the question is, does America really need to care that much? Let's take a look at this chart and you'll see. China's investments in America were already pretty minimal, so the US might not really care much at this point. That's why the United States is basically saying, I warned you, if you push back, you'll get hit even harder. And the deal the US is making right now is one that's meant to break the dragon's neck. China has built an impressive network of maritime infrastructure, right? But the US has never done anything like that. But now they're going to pour a massive amount of money into it to ring the bell and keep everything under control. Ding, ding. Let's see what happens with this new United States trade deal to break the dragon's neck.